This podcast is for entertainment and commentary purposes only. The views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and do not reflect any organizations or affiliates. This show may contain adult language and mature themes. Listener discretion is advised. Portions of media may be used under fair use for commentary and criticism. Nothing discussed on this podcast should be taken as professional, legal, or financial advice.
It's J.M. and Diggs, two kids that never quit. From the ring to the booth, yeah, they still talk their shit. Hey! Thursdays on your feet, they're the ones you don't skip. If you came for the vibes, you came for J.M. and Diggs.
All right, welcome to another episode of JM and Diggs.
What's up, Paul?
What's up? You see that picture right there in the background for our viewers? Yeah, we're going to be talking about that shortly. Stefon Diggs' saga continues, even though he's no longer a Patriot. But his future might be changing in that regard. Whether he's a Patriot or playing for another NFL team, we will find out. But before we start, Diggs, how was your week?
Very, very long.
I feel
How about
that.
yours?
Yeah, these work's been work. That's honestly, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Work has been work. I think the last 2 days, today and yesterday, we had beds to do, and we got hosed on both those deliveries just because the first one was like the great beyond journey to even get to the apartment before we had to take like several trips to bring all the pieces of the bed to the apartment, and then we could finally put the bed together. And then today we had this like specialized bed that we had to put together, and it was the first time me or our coworker had ever did that, and we got hosed on that deal too. Obviously, we didn't find out it wasn't working properly until we got it completed. So then we're like, oh, all right, there's issues. Sweet. Awesome. But yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess. But your boy Stefon Diggs. Now, yep, we'll get into that. What do you mean getting hosed? Getting hosed is like, I don't think it's screwed, getting fucked over. I don't know. It's just a term we use out here. Getting hosed. So, yeah. So let's get right into, I guess we'll go right into the story you wanted to cover in local news this week. Mother and daughter assaulted and bloodied at Providence Place Mall. So this is actually coming off, I guess, I don't remember the details of the first story. There was another assault that happened at the Providence Place Mall before this, right?
Yep, it was a group of kids having an aggressive pillow fight inside Macy's.
No. That's this report. I'm talking about, this is the second assault in...
It's the same group of kids. The first time the mother told the kids to stop in Macy's. The kids followed the mother into the bathroom.
Okay.
So that makes it two.
All right.
I thought it was two separate too until I just read more about it.
Yeah, I just think I thought I heard something different, but all right, we'll just go off this one. But they're called, like, the article I'm reading right now is referring to this incident in Macy's as the second incident. That's why I'm confused. But whatever. Yeah, continue.
So apparently, once the mother asked the kids to stop, the group of female girls got aggressive. Plus one male got aggressive with them. The girls walked off, went to the bathroom. The group of high school girls followed them into the bathroom, punched one in the head. One, you could see the visible marks where she was bleeding and looked like she just got beat up. The juveniles were taken to Central Station, turned over to youth services. and they're charged with simple assault.
So, first off, where's security at this mall, bro? You know, and back in episode, was it episode 1? We covered the secret room at the Providence Place Mall, right?
Episode 2.
Yeah, so I know it was early on in the pod that we covered that. And I remember a big point of that discussion was like, where's security? It was like, and we determined there's like a lack of security at this mall. Like they allowed these people to build an apartment in this mall and without really much resistance. And and that was years ago. That was like early 2000s that happened. Now, fast forward to today, we're getting 2 different assaults in Providence Place. Like this one being probably the more violent one, but yeah, it's just crazy to me. But now, all right, now I found it. You're right. All right, so yeah, it's saying second mall attack in one day.
Wasn't there a month or 2 ago where someone got robbed on that sky bridge?
Yes, I think that's what I was thinking of as the first issue. But that bridge is what connects the mall to the convention center, right?
Yes, sir.
So
It's that yellow one that you can see in the picture.
right, yep. So it's just ironic the Macy's is there too. So inside that Macy's is where the assault that Diggs is just talking about happened. It happened actually inside the Macy's bathroom. But on that sky bridge in this picture, it was another armed robbery that happened about a month ago. So, yeah, Providence Police, man. I mean, let's just say it. I mean, I hate to call them out, but like, they have not had a good look since the Brown University shooting. Because the way that was handled was like that was handled like shit, right?
Yeah.
And like Providence Police didn't want federal involvement. Like that should have instantly been handed over to the feds. They should have went right over their head. And I don't know. It took us how many days to get a result out of that entire thing, and they still couldn't catch the guy. He ended up committing suicide. And it just seems to be like one thing after the other in Providence where they're just not on the ball with this. I don't know if this is supposed to be under Providence Place Mall Security's purview or what the case may be, but it doesn't seem to be working out that well. Definitely not. Especially that bridge connecting the mall to the convention center. That's going to be somehow. I doubt that's mall security's responsibility to watch that bridge, right?
But that's the thing. Like, you figured it would be a joint security because people come from both sides.
Yeah, but it's probably I don't know, probably like a jurisdiction thing, like the convention center security is like, oh, yeah, I thought they got to walk that bridge, and then the mall security is like, no, I thought they walked the bridge, and then it's just a big fucking back and forth argument of who the hell's watching the bridge.
To be fair, the bridge one happened at like 2 a.m.
Right. But here's the sad thing. Like, that bridge is all glass windows. Like, even if it's at 2 a.m. It's like, there's no, like, hiding in that bridge, right?
Yeah.
Like, mind you, I'm sure it's dark at 2 a.m. in the morning when you're crossing that bridge. But, man, the fact that the guy's got balls enough to rob somebody on a bridge that's all glass where you can see out, that's fucking mind-boggling to me. Because you're only, like, how high above the off-ramp to 95 and Route 10 and shit. It's kind of crazy.
Some people are idiots. Some just don't give a fuck. Did you also hear that the mall just got sold?
You mentioned that. So no, I don't know the details behind that.
For $133 million.
Did you know who bought it?
It is patio of former mayor and uh, Brookfield Properties. Nope, sorry, Brookfield Properties defaulted on the mortgage.
Those are the previous owners.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
Paulino Properties and DW Partners.
Not familiar with them, but it'd be interesting to see what they actually want to do with the mall going forward.
They're trying to bring Costco into it.
What is it?
Costco?
They want to put a Costco in there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we don't have one in Rhode Island, so that'd actually make a lot of sense.
Well, you go to like Costco, buy a whole bunch of shit, pay $12 to park, and try.
If there isn't one in the state already, yeah, I can see Rhode Islanders doing that. Also in that general area of the mall, even though like there is a definite crime issue going on over there right now, but all those neighboring like old mill buildings that got renovated into apartments, like that area does have a higher price of living, so people would be able to afford. There's a lot of people in walking distance of that mall that would love to go to like Costco like that. You know what I mean?
I was also hearing like how they originally were talking about turning it into apartments, adding apartments into there.
Yeah, I heard that too. The issue with that is you'd literally have to move. You'd still have to keep the stores that do survive in there. Because even though there's not a lot of stores open in that mall anymore, there's still the few like stores that will probably always get business in there. Apple being the big one because there's only Apple in the state, so everyone has to go to that Apple if they want to go to an Apple store.
Yeah,
A lot of people go for Hot Topic.
yeah.
Right.
I will add too. There are right now a lot of malls, like older malls, that are being converted into half malls, half apartment complexes. Like
Right.
it's really nice to see. Because it kind of makes sense because if you go to a lot of malls these days, so most of them are dead.
Yeah.
So
I-
the
I
balance
think-
works.
I think what they would have to do is they'd have to consolidate all those stores to one side of the building that are still successful, and then renovate the other side for apartments or whatever they want to do.
Or put all the stores on the bottom level, the top two. There's apartments.
I'd put the stores on the top because you still have that IMAX theaters in there still.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Or Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's is up on the top floor of that mall. That's still going. IMAX is still going.
The only one that would really need to move up would be the Apple store.
Right. And then those bigger department stores would be kind of the issue, I think, because are you just going to have people living in between those fucking giant department stores?
I think the only real JCPenney, I believe, is closing, or they close. Macy's the only real other mall, big store
That's
in
in
that
there.
mall. Yeah. Yeah, on the complete opposite ends.
Yeah, they definitely have to do some moving around to make that work. But it'd be interesting to see what they do. I mean, yeah, that mall's been kind of. There hasn't been a time in the past how many years for me to be interested to go into that mall. So if I'm gonna go
to go from the topic.
like I live in Warwick. We have the Warwick Mall over here, and even though malls aren't what they used to be, there's probably more active stores in the Warwick Mall than closed stores in the Warwick Mall. You know what I mean? But all right,
I
moving on.
also heard that is the way that casino's wired up electrically. It's wired for a casino.
I thought they were trying to weed out malls from everywhere and make them into condos. Right. I mean, the malls that are not successful, they're definitely trying to do that. War Rack, you know those rappers over there? Yeah, they're not rappers, in my opinion. But yeah, we went to school with them. We know exactly who they are.
It's more like it's not too far from you.
Actually, I probably live a neighborhood over from what's his name? The main kid. Billy, yeah. I run into them all the time, random gas station stores around the city. But plus my cousins know all these guys. But yeah, I'm not like a personal friend or anything like that. good for them, man. They hit a niche and they're doing big numbers on the internet. I can't really hate against that. That's not the type of content I'm into. Big Chief is funny. Just not my cup of tea for content, but hey, hats off to them, man. They found a niche and it's working for them. And in a lot of ways, those guys do act that way. Like if I look back towards like our school days, but I was never really close with them or anything like that. But hey, congrats to them, and they're doing big things in their own way, and I can't hate on that. But Sanchez, you got that video queued up for that next story?
Let's go, producer boy.
Yes, I do. You want to talk about it now?
Yeah, we'll get into that now. Bring that up real quick. All right. So for our viewers, we're going to show a little bit of the footage here. But let me just get into what happened before we press play. This happened 2 days ago at Garden City Elementary School in Diggs's town, Cranston, Rhode Island. Garden City Elementary School custodian was charged with drug possession after police allegedly found cocaine in his pockets on school grounds Monday night. Police arrived at the school just before 10 p.m. after a school employee told police they found a custodian unconscious inside the school's cafeteria. Police said 38-year-old Shane Gavin, a custodian at the school, showed signs of narcotic intoxication, such as slurred speech and enlarged pupils. Cranston police alleged a search of Gavin's pockets turned up 2 baggies filled with a white powdery substance, as well as a credit card, 2 straws, and money with a white powdery substance on them. In the arrest report, police alleged Gavin advised the white powdery substance was cocaine and he had been snorting earlier. Cranston police said the baggies were later tested, came back positive for cocaine and fentanyl, so this guy was really partying. Gain was charged with 1 count of drug possession. This is the second time this school year a janitor from that school was charged with having drugs on school grounds. So, I think they need to do a better hiring process. But let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this film here, because this is just sad to see.
What did you do? No, I don't know.
Just before 10 on Monday night, first responders arrived at Garden City Elementary School to find 38-year-old custodian Shane Gavin laying down on a bench. According to the police report, he was observed to be high, with slurred speech and enlarged pupils, telling officers he felt lightheaded. Before Gavin was taken to the hospital, police are seen patting him down and find cocaine in his pocket. According to the police report, 10 grams worth of cocaine and fentanyl mix were found on Gavin. He was arraigned at the hospital on a drug possession charge.
A couple chunks.
Gavin's employment status remains unclear. A spokesperson for Cranston Public Schools told 12 News, quote, "We work with the Cranston Police Department in these matters and handle them as personnel issues. We also follow collective bargaining agreements and due processing rights as soon as we are made aware of any issues," end quote. Adding that when it comes to the hiring and vetting process of employees, it, quote, "follows all applicable state and federal laws for hiring and employment procedures." The district says it has no further comment on this personnel matter. The school department is overseen by the school committee, but it is the department that is in charge of personnel.
So, Diggs, you were over there today, right?
Yep, that's right where my kid's baseball game was.
It's crazy to hear too. It's crazy to hear too, like, because we just talked about the Providence Place assault twice in one day, and then this happened Monday, and this is the second time they had a employee get arrested with drug possession on school grounds. So yeah, they definitely got to work on their vetting process of hiring, because that's definitely a problem. You can't you can't hire employees that are sober. What's mind-boggling to me, in our line of work, like, we have to go to schools for a good portion of our jobs, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, these schools like nowadays, and maybe it's different because he was a custodian and he was working at 10 o'clock at night. But like, dude, it's intimidating to go to a school nowadays. You know, we're in the school shooting era where these schools have all these different procedures and protocols before you can even walk through the door. You got to show ID. You got to, you know what I mean. You got to sign in. They actually some of these schools scan your ID. Like it's
I have to scan my ID and pick up like a weird phone thing in order just to get inside the school to get my kids.
yeah. Some schools have the tablet system where you go there, you sign in with the tablet, you scan your ID for them. All different stuff, but. So like anytime I go to a school, I'm like, oh man, here we go. I gotta get into Fort Knox. Like, you know what I mean? And I just can't believe a guy that works for a school would have the balls to be like, yeah, I'm gonna get high when I'm working tonight. And you know you work at a school. Thank God it's not like this wasn't happening during the school day, you know? But it still probably makes the parents of the kids that go to that school very uneasy.
I agree. You kind of second guess of who's in.
Yeah, who's around my children when they're in school, you know? That's what you gotta that's really what you gotta worry about. I mean, like Sanchez said in chat, like this guy had 10 grams of coke on him and he's a custodian for an elementary school. Like, fuck, man, that guy's got like no conscience. Obviously has a drug problem, but that's fucking crazy.
Listen, I want to know how much the schools are paying for him before that.
That janitor was like, it's hammer time. Yeah. But, oh damn, whose chat is that? Is that my chat?
Probably.
I don't even have it up.
I think it's Diggs.
Oh, that's gonna be a problem. Let me check. Hold up. I'm gonna take care of it. Because you know Diggs ain't gonna do anything about that.
I can't even get my Twitch to load.
Oh, wait. You did make me an editor. You beautiful genius, you.
Yeah, I did something right.
Yeah, I got it. Banhammer, baby. Yeah, you're gonna have to give Sanchez those privileges so he can manage that for you when he can. But I got it. All right. So getting off this story, what was the next one? The milk can. Yeah, here it is.
Okay.
So this is in North Smithfield, Rhode Island. It's actually across the street from our only drive-in movie theater, right?
Yes, sir.
This is like kind of like a weird like staple of Rhode Island, but it's been like an eyesore for the last 20 years because nobody does anything to it. It just sits there. So I forget what this used to be. It used to be like a actual like ice cream spot. You can get ice cream and milkshakes and shit, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, I believe so.
So yeah, they call it the milk can. You drive by it off of a major highway, like one of the major highways here in Rhode Island. But it just went up for the first. Like everyone's been wondering what's been going on with it for years. As you see from this picture, it's there's vines growing all over it. It looks like it's ready to collapse. Honestly, I don't know about the structure, like the integrity of the structure itself, but it's got spray paint on it. Like no management to the property around it at all either. So it's finally been put up for sale. And I think the person that is trying to sell it is as high as the guy in the last story because he's asking for $7.5 million for that building and that property.
Depends on how many yards he has.
Yeah.
Like how many acres?
Yeah, because you're not getting $7.5 million just because you got a fucking old milk canister shaped building. I mean, they don't even put milk in canisters like that anymore, do they? Can you still get milk that way? I know you can't get it from the store that way.
Unless you go right to the farm.
You go right to the farm, you can get it that way?
Yep.
All right. Well, it's very interesting, but yeah, the article just says it's a historic landmark off of Eddie Dowling Highway, listed for sale earlier this week by Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and Pinnacle Realty. The sale includes the 32-foot tall milk can, more than 5 acres of surrounding land, in a 2-story building with a loading dock. Where the hell is that other building? The listing describes the milk can as being a well-known example of classic American roadside architecture. The existing milk can building offers character, branding, potential, and the chance to restore and repurpose a recognizable local landmark, the listing explains. The milk can dates back to the 1930s, was originally a roadside ice cream stand. There it is. The ice cream stand itself closed in the 1960s, was nearly demolished 2 decades later when the Rhode Island Department of Transportation began construction on Route 99. The historic building was eventually moved down the road to its current location out of the way of the new Route 99 in an attempt to preserve and revive it. Those plans never came to fruition, and the milk can has sat vacant ever since. So there's a good breakdown of what happened. So it's not even in its original location. They moved the building. So where Route 99 runs is where that building was originally, and then they moved it to where it is. So, yeah, I don't know. All the construction they're doing on that route it's on, too. I mean, it's not the most convenient property to get onto. You can only be getting onto that property from one direction. You know what I mean? Because if you're going from the other way on that highway, you're going to shoot down the highway and then find an exit, turn around, and come back to get there. You know what I mean?
Such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Nothing but bumper to bumper traffic.
Well, that's gotten better. I don't know. I don't know. They've built the overpass now, so all the traffic that's going to go just wants to keep flowing. It goes over the overpass, and then there's another. It's almost like an off ramp, but really it's one lane of the old road stopped, so you can stop at that red light, take a left or a right. So they've made it a little better where it's not so bad, but one accident on that overpass, though, yeah, you're going to be in bumper to bumper traffic. So it's not ideal, but anyway, it'd just be very interesting to see if anyone actually buys that property for that price. $7.5 million. I don't know about the other building they're talking about with the loading bay. So there must be another building on that property that we can't see in that picture, and that I must not notice when I drive by it, unless it's part of. Maybe when I drive by, I don't notice that another building's there, and I don't connect the two because they probably look so different. Because obviously that's a very unique building. So very, very interesting. Do you have anything else for local news, Diggs? That's really all I got.
One of our speakers is stepping down. Is trying to apply for a Supreme Court seat.
Okay.
I don't even want to go anywhere into this story.
Yeah, it sounds too political for me.
The city of Central Falls receives first payment from Wyatt since 2021. Other than that, it's political.
All right. Well, we'll move on. We'll do a couple NFL stories here. We got one that we have to go over. So, Stefon Diggs, former Patriot wide receiver, is not guilty on the charges of misdemeanor assault and battery, stemming from an alleged dispute with his former chef. The case centered on December 2nd, encountered at Diggs's home in Dedham, where Jamila Adams, a former live in-person chef who is known as Mila, testified he slapped and choked her during an argument. Diggs' attorney said the alleged assault never happened and questioned Adams' credibility and whether the dispute was about money, relationship tensions, including a disagreement over a planned trip to Miami, or an alleged assault. They pointed the financial demands she made in testimony from friends and employees who said she did not appear injured in the days after the encounter, while prosecutors argued the case rests on her account of what happened inside the home. Defense attorney Andrew Kettlewell told jurors during closing arguments that prosecutors had not presented a single shred of credible evidence that an assault occurred. Assistant District Attorney Drew Virtue urged jurors to weigh Adams' testimony carefully and not to disregard it because she was not a perfect witness. And that's kind of fucked if you get the assistant district attorney saying she's not a perfect witness. Like, that kind of tears your whole fucking game plan in court. Just that's crazy. An attorney for Diggs, who was released by the Patriots in March, said he categorically denies these allegations, called them unsubstantiated and motivated by financial dispute. Diggs signed a 3-year, $69 million contract with New England last year and was a key target for quarterback Drake May during the Patriots' AFC East title run. Before joining the Patriots, Diggs was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings in 2015 and played for the Buffalo Bills before the brief stint with the Houston Texans in 2024. Diggs's 1,000-yard season marked the 7th of his career. It helped complete a successful career revival after a season-ending knee injury derailed what turned out to be a 1-year stay with the Houston Texans in 2024. So the real question after this story, it's like, all right, he's not guilty. The pressure's off of him having this. So now teams can actually go in and look at, all right, do I need a receiver? And will he fill that void? Also, for the New England Patriots, we've been talking all offseason about the potential trade for A.J. Brown from the Philadelphia Eagles. The A.J. Brown having a history with Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel. Will they reconnect in New England? Will we get him here? Now, if that does not happen, there's a great possibility that Stefon Diggs returns to the Patriots. I really do think that. Unless he goes somewhere else sooner.
Hopefully he goes back to the Patriots.
You'd like to see him back in Patriots uniform?
Oh, yeah.
He did seem to be a good team leader. He did seem to be a good locker room presence for the boys. I just think, what was it, like mid-season this story came out? So it was like, shit, here we go again. Typical Patriots bullshit. So, your team sounds like it's cursed, man. We got that here. We got that Hernandez dude. Now this guy. All right, first off, Hernandez actually killed people, bro. In any team, this is not the first time a player has been accused and had to go to court about any type of assault and battery or domestic violence or anything like that. That's happening across the league. I just think the Patriots are one of those teams that media coverage goes nationwide to worldwide, depending on it. If it was like a team like, I don't know, if it was a team like the Cleveland Browns, would we even be hearing about it? The Bears? Well, I don't know. Chicago's a pretty good market, maybe, but I don't know. If there's a bunch of other franchises, I think if they had a guy like this and a case like this, you wouldn't even be hearing about it or talking about it. The Patriots are the new Cowboys, man. Well, yeah, I mean, the Cowboys don't win championships, so that's probably why. So.
That's fucked.
But yeah, I just think whoever's in the limelight, like obviously if this was happening on the Kansas City Chiefs, it would be major news. Yeah, there's a bunch of teams that if it was happening to, you'd hear about it. But there's a big amount of teams. If the Jacksonville Jaguars had a receiver that had a similar situation and went to court about it, would we be hearing about it? No. So it's just kind of, I think it's just the way the media works around certain teams and other teams, really. the more popular teams, or the teams that win a lot, or the more hated teams, depending on how you look at it. Like, yeah, they're gonna anything that happens on that team, little, small, always gets blown into a big story. So I don't think this has any type of level compared to Aaron Hernandez. That is like a very, I don't know, once in a generation type fucking situation there. I mean, a lot of people forget too. Ray Lewis went to court for murder. He was just found innocent. So Aaron Hernandez, he legit killed people, and he was found guilty. So that's a whole different story. And honestly, dude, Patriot fans to this day, as much as like that guy's a piece of shit, he should not have killed people. Man, you can't get enough of watching his fucking highlight reel, man. That dude was a monster in the field, bro. he was a monster off the field, and he was a monster on the field, bro. Like the what if factor. Like, what if Aaron Hernandez was not a fucking cold-blooded murderer, dude? Like, imagine. That guy would have been first ballot Hall of Fame. Also, if Aaron Hernandez didn't do what he did, would we even be talking about Gronk as the greatest fucking tight end of all time? Because, you know, Aaron Hernandez was the talk of the town. Gronk didn't start popping off till Hernandez went to jail.
I don't think we would have Gronk.
Absolutely not true, Dungeon. That is absolutely not true. We lost in the Super Bowl, and then he got arrested 4 months later. So that is absolutely not true. Patriots didn't know what the fuck was going on until he showed up at the stadium the day he had like a bunch of helicopters following him. It was like a weird. The funny thing was, dude, Hernandez drove a white SUV too. So when it came out that Hernandez was being a suspect for a murder, all the fucking helicopters stopped following him. He drove from his house to the Patriots Stadium, being followed by fucking helicopters all the way up the highway, like we're watching the fucking Bronco chase in the mid-'90s. And he literally went to the stadium to talk to Robert Kraft, and he looked Robert Kraft dead in the eye in the building and lied to him. He's like, is this true? He's like, no, I didn't do anything, Mr. Kraft. He's like, all right, well, you can't be in the building. Well, you just stay home and we'll let this work itself out. Then you get arrested and then proven guilty. So that was a whole different scenario. They didn't really know. No one knew anything about the guy behind the scenes. He didn't hang out with teammates and shit outside of outside of practice and team meetings and all that. Like, he kept to himself. He hung out with his boys from Connecticut, and I think that was a lot of the reason why he got himself into so much trouble.
That's another reason why Connecticut sucks.
Oh, no, his wife got fucked out of that whole deal. Because of Aaron Hernandez, Massachusetts changed their law. So there was like a law, I guess. The reason Aaron Hernandez committed suicide in jail, because he was on trial for the Boston murders, and then he was also had an appeal in for the murder that he got found guilty for. And because in Mass you have this weird law, if you have an appeal in and you're also in the process of a trial, if you die before those hearings are completed, then his guilty conviction goes to not guilty, and then they can't try him on the other one as guilty. Well, because of that, and I'm guessing there was a lot of pressure from the Kraft family, they reverted that rule, so that guilty stamp would still stay on his name. And then because the state of Massachusetts reverted that rule, that in turn made his Patriot contract that he signed right before the conviction void. So they didn't get the only money I think the wife got was from whatever type of what was it called? Retirement? No, a pension, like like when you
Yeah.
when you work at a company, you build a pension. Whatever he had built up into that, and then obviously, I don't know whatever he owned that they could sell that was worth value. But she was getting screwed during the trials. The trials were milking them dry, so they were pretty fucked financially right away.
What happened to her?
She's actually with somebody else. She's living in Rhode Island actually. Ernie, yeah, my cousin Ernie knows the dude that she's dating.
Huh.
Supposedly she lives in Rhode Island now and is with just a normal dude that doesn't murder. Uh, wasn't it his wife's sister's boyfriend? Yeah. So that's actually that's how he got arrested and caught because he was high on PCP and he killed that dude like in a construction area down the street from his house like a fucking idiot. And then it wasn't until because they were investigating that murder, they found a vehicle at his aunt's house that connected him to a double homicide in Boston. That double homicide in Boston, he committed that double murder during an NFL season. He went out one night, went to a nightclub, left the club, decided to shoot two guys at a red light, and then drove off, and then the next day went to practice like nothing happened. Think about that. Pretty crazy. He was living a double life. All right, so that's the Stefon Diggs story. I don't know how we got into the big Aaron Hernandez thing, but we got into that.
Aaron Hernandez's wife has a podcast called Unscripted.
Oh, geez, we might have to check that out one day.
So me and me don't know.
Interesting. All right, let's do this one other NFL story that Sanchez put up for me to go through real quick, and then we'll go right into your final cut. All right. Oh, Jay, what's up? Too simplified. What is good? So yeah, there it is. It seems likely. Now, I've avoided covering this all offseason because Aaron Hernandez likes to do these little spiritual trips into the middle of nowhere where he trips on fucking. What do they do? Did you see that documentary?
No.
On Netflix? There's a documentary on Netflix where Aaron Rodgers literally goes somewhere and trips balls for like the whole offseason. I forgot. It's like some sort of retreat.
Joshua Tree?
I don't know. I don't
In the
know.
middle of the desert.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I watched that so long ago, and I was probably blitzed out of my skull when I watched it. But
It's most likely Joshua Tree. Because everyone goes in and looks at it. So,
yeah,
I'm pushing how you say that.
I'd have to watch it again. But as of right now, multiple reports say the expectation around the league is that Rodgers will return for another season with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but there is no official contract being signed. Steelers previously placed a rare unrestricted free agent tender on Rodgers earlier this offseason. The tender would automatically give Rodgers roughly a 10% raise from last season, putting him around a projected $15 million salary if he played under the tender alone. According to the new Sports Illustrated report, league sources expect Rodgers to sign for more than the $15 million placeholder number. The current belief is that the final contract will likely land somewhere closer to the 20 million range, though not near the rumored 30 million some speculated earlier in the offseason. That's from NFL insider Ian Rappaport. Yeah, I mean, he did this last year too. We didn't know if he was coming back or if he was retiring, whatever the case may be. And then it ended up in Pittsburgh. Actually, they didn't play that bad last year. Pittsburgh had, towards the end there, they had a shot to get in the playoffs. And
What was their record?
oof, let me look that up. I'm gonna say 8-9. Oh no, they were 10-7 last year.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Now I'm trying to think. What was the Did they make the playoffs last year? Last year's NFL playoff record. I don't know if this is right. Of course, I'm going to get every other NFL bracket than the one I want. Here it is. Pittsburgh did make the playoffs. I'm sorry. Take that back. They did make the playoffs. They lost to the
wild card.
Yeah, they made the well, there's no such thing as a wild card anymore. There's a round 1, there's round 2, and then there's round 3. Only one team gets the bye. But yeah, they made it the first round and lost embarrassingly to the Texans, which makes sense because we played the Texans the next week, and that was a tough ass game. So
30-6.
Yep. So that's right. That's why. All right, that makes sense. Actually, that's why the John Harbaugh, the former coach of the Ravens, got fired because they missed the playoffs. They're in the same division as the Steelers. So, but yeah, it's still rumored. You know, this guy could just like shock the world to come back from his little retreat and be like, you know what? I like getting high. I retire. That could honestly be what happens. So we'll see. But that is that's a tempting offer to play another year, and you're going to be making between 15 and 20 million. So we'll see. We'll see how. I doubt the guy's financially hurting, but we'll see what happens.
What do you think he'll end up doing? He does retire.
I don't think you'll be seeing him doing anything with football. Actually, he seems like the type of guy that will legitimately retire and like kind of disappear for a while. I think you'd only see him do analyst stuff if like he was desperate for the money. But I just don't. I don't look at him that way. So, but all right, I think it is time for Diggs' final cut. What are we doing this week, buddy?
A clown in the cornfield.
Wait, what? Clown in a cornfield?
Yes.
Man, you love these movies with clowns in it, huh?
They remind me of you.
Okay. I'm a mascot. I'm a mascot, baby. I'm not a clown, bro.
It's based on a horror novel by Adam Caesar. Clowns in Cornfield follows the teenager Quinn Maybrook, who moves to the small town of Colorado Springs after her mother's death. The town is struggling economically, and tension grows between angry adults and rebellious teens. The town mascot, Friendo, the clown, once represented the local corn syrup factory, but soon somehow wearing the Friendo costume begins brutally murdering teenagers throughout the town. As paranoia spreads, Quinn and her friends uncover dark secrets about Kettle Springs and realize the Kellens are tied to the town's rage. Generational divide, obsessed with fixing the younger generation, this movie mixes classic slasher energy with social commentary, small town horror vibes. It's produced by the same director of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, which we covered a few weeks ago.
So by looking at, because obviously I didn't see this film, but looking at that, I don't know. That doesn't seem terrifying to me. I think it's like it's really designed for people that
are horror. It's starter horror.
It's for those people that are just ridiculously freaked out by clowns.
To me, it's like it's that if you have someone just starting to get into horror, like sit them down, they can watch this. It's not scary. But it's got some good moments in it. It's got a little bit of comedy in it. It's starter horror to me.
Starter horror. That's the first time I've heard that term. I like that. Oh my God! What is happening in that scene?
He's riding a unicycle,
In his underwear, bro? What the hell we doing?
flipping the bird.
All right, I'm gonna have to watch this one day just to try to get context of that photo because that's making no sense to me whatsoever. So, what are your like main characters in this? Your typical teenage type cast,
Te-
or
Teenage rebellious kids. There's 6 of the main people.
and then one survives?
3 of them survive.
Interesting.
The girl's the main character's love interest.
He probably dies, right?
Nope, he survives, but he turns out he's gay.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Really?
Yeah.
And she didn't know?
Nope. Right before the
I guess she was too distracted by a killer clown running around, but that's hilarious right there. You get to the end of the film, you find out the guy's gay, or do you find out before the end of the film?
you find out near the end of the film.
That's crazy, bro. You watch that whole shit, you think there's a love story involved, and you just find out the dude's gay. That's great.
Right before the killings, the hell's her name? Quinn takes him to a shed because they're at a big house party and gets pissed because she gets rejected. Like she climbs on top of him and they start making out. And he's like, nope, I'm done. So she gets all pissed about it. Thinking it was her.
That should have been the first sign right there. That dude wasn't just in the closet. He was in the shed, bro. He was in the shed. That's crazy. All right. Honestly, just based off you describing this to me, I actually want to watch this movie. It does sound fucking hilarious.
It's a fun watch. Like I won't go out of my way to watch it like I will Tucker and Dale.
Yep.
But if I'm scrolling through and I see it, put it on.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Let's get into the kill or keep. You don't have a lot here, huh? All right. Well, we'll just get straight into it. So your typical creepy clown slasher concept, would you kill or keep?
I'll keep it. It's a fun concept you can do it a lot of different ways. The mascot for starter horror, let's say creepy if you have a young kid watching it.
Especially if they're terrified of clowns.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, for me personally, with the whole creepy clown slasher concept, I would kill that shit. I'm sorry. There's just too many of these fucking clowns out there, bro. Way too many clown.
This was almost done filming. I think it took them 25 days to film this.
The whole movie?
Yeah. And only a few million, I think.
Interesting. That's a very disciplined cast and crew to be able to get that shit done in 25 days. That's crazy.
It was filmed in Canada.
Well, they do most horror movies up there. Do a lot of movies up in Canada, actually, not just horror. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Cornfield, small town setting. Would you kill or keep?
I'll keep it. I think they could have done a lot more with it.
Like, what do you mean, like a lot more with the town, or
with the cornfields? But it works for like that nice beginning of Halloween season.
Yeah, so like obviously the movie is called Clown in a Cornfield. Like, how often are cornfields in this film?
A good amount. The final act is pretty much all in the cornfield.
Yep. So overall, you would keep.
I'm up in the. If I gotta choose, yeah, keep.
My thing is like with cornfields and horror movies, it's always in that season where like they're like dying, right?
Mm.
Like that's what makes it like scary. But like, how ridiculous would it be if you had a cornfield in a horror movie and like it's like prime time season? You can see the corn growing off of.
They're just running and smacked by the corn.
Yeah, just think that'd be ridiculous. Should make a film like that. Be more of a comedy. All right, next one. Generational conflict storyline. Kill or keep.
I must say kill. Same concept a lot of other movies done.
Kind of, yeah. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, like their take on it is a little interesting, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing.
All right. Potential generic slasher moments. Kill or keep.
I'll I'll kill him. There's a lot of risk of falling into the familiar tropes. Like
So there's nothing
you
like
see,
unique about the way these people are dying. You've seen it before.
yeah, you some of them scenes that might be a little bit gorier than before, but in the end, it's not something that's gonna shock you.
Yeah, and I feel like I see that a lot in lower budget horror films too. It's like they'll take ideas from uh, a way more popular horror flick, and then they just think they'll cover it up, but like that they took the idea by just making it over the top, gory.
Yeah.
So, um, so really, overall, what do you think about the movie in its entirety? Would you kill or keep?
And that one's I'll keep. It's a good concept. It just needs a hell of a lot better execution on it.
Right. Plus, even if like a horror movie is a bad horror movie, you love horror so much that there's always like you'll always give it the benefit of the doubt.
I love B-rated horror movies. Right. It doesn't help that I watched this movie while working this morning.
You watched it this morning?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a that's a quick decision on what's going to be in the Diggs final cut.
Last minute decision.
Last minute decision. All right, I get you. All right. Well, do you have any idea what we're going to be doing next week, or are you still thinking about that?
I'm still thinking about that.
All right. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, we covered mostly a lot of local news, and I'm kind of glad that we did that today because we're kind of lacking in Rhode Island local news the last few episodes. So that will be something that we're going to be working on bringing back into the fold each week. We want to be covering some more Rhode Island and Southern New England local stories on top of the sports that we like to cover, on top of Diggs's movie review that we do each week. We want to also have a nice little section in there for local news as well. So we'll be trying to organize our time better with that as well. And then, yeah, on top of, I'm thinking next week we will get Tosh back to update us on what's going on in the NBA playoffs. Right now, I didn't expect him this week just because they're in the middle. His New York Knicks are in the middle of the series with the Philadelphia 76ers. So when that plays out, I'm sure he's going to have a lot to talk about next week. Depending on if he's happy about it or not, depends on if the Knicks win the series. So, other than that, you will see tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check out right here on the Clean Sanchez Media YouTube channel. It will be Morning Rips with Sanchez and Gio, aka Cabalas, aka Goblin Gaming. And then you'll also catch them at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday for Bong Rips and video games. And then Sunday, right, Sanchez, is the debut of the new pod. Do you want to break in and just kind of plug that real quick?
Yep, Sunday will be the day. On Mother's Day will be the debut of Tune In, Tube Out, aka Tito. It's good if you like TV shows and if you like TV shows and breakdowns. This is the show you want to watch. I actually got to say I was inspired by Diggs because Diggs is handling the movies, and I was like, man, I want to do TV shows. So it's really nice. My wife and I love watching TV. We're actually about to watch a lot of TV after this, and it's going to be fun. So I hope to see you guys there. So make sure you guys check out the channel at YouTube on Tune In Tube Out, like and subscribe, and check out the video that just came out there too. You guys will enjoy it if you like TV.
There you go. Make sure you tune into that Sunday. And then, of course, Monday is DD 214 as normal.
Yep.
All right.
7 p.m.
All right, and then you will catch us back here next Thursday. It'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Time. JM and Diggs podcast will be back for another episode. So appreciate everybody that was in chat, from Dungeon to Too Simplified. We did have a bot from your chat, Diggs. Who did I miss? Anybody else? I think somebody else. McNugget came in, and I missed his message. So shout out to him for popping in too. Appreciate everybody, and we will catch you next week. Peace.
Later.
Two kids that never quit, from the ring to the booth, yeah, they still talk their shit. Hey! Thursdays on your feet, they're the ones you don't skip. If you came for the vibes, you came for J.M. and Diggs. Diggs got reels, all the scares, all the gore, driving bloodbaths, late night lore, breaking down scenes, every scream, every twist. If it crawls from the dark, it's already on his list. Local buzz, from the block to the bay, talking hometown legends who still got something to say. From the bar stool stories to the front page hits, same crew, new view, same sarcasm and wit. Oh yeah, it's JM and Diggs, two kids that never quit. From the ring to the booth, yeah, they still talk their shit. Hey! Thursdays on your feet, they're the ones you don't skip. If you came for the vibes, you came for J.M. and Diggs. Clean Sanchez in the gut, keeps the chaos clean.